I found that my media piece reflects professional works such as like magazines and posters, and especially in my trailer, because the usual conventions of teaser trailers is having like minimal information given. So at the end I had my titles that only had like a web address and the date, and like the storyline gave very little away. And in my poster I was really careful to follow the codes and conventions, like barcodes and like mastheads and the pricing, which I had in the M of the mastings because I was looking precisely at Empire magazine, and that's a convention that they have, so I was trying to emulate that. And I particularly looked at Quantum of Solace's James Bond edition and the superhero edition, where they had like main focus was on the image and they had little kind of subtext around it to distract away from it. And I kind of did the same for my poster, and there was where Liam Neeson was the main focus of it, and he had like extra diegetic gaze and a close-up, which I wanted to emulate in my poster as well, because it lended itself to my psychological horror genre. So I stuck to those conventions to try and use those techniques to try and aid my genre. But how did I challenge things? And I mainly challenged things in my trailer, as it was non-chronological, it had very little storyline, and it gave very little away, and it was all to the imagination, it was all to the audience. And I did that on purpose. Like, I did it to try and follow the conventions of teaser trailers, to tease people and get people to want to to watch my trailer if obviously if it came out in the cinemas. And I particularly followed the conventions of a precise opening, and it's not a trailer but it's an opening of American Horror Story, and I looked into it, and the director of it said that each episode following the opening reveals like part of the mystery, so like the opening is a mystery to be solved, and that's what I wanted to emulate. So I didn't follow the conventions of trailers as a whole, I followed the conventions of a teaser trailer in that sense of one particular, and it was non-chronological obviously, and it was very random, and it had a lot of extra diegetic gaze to kind of lend itself to genre. And so I did that strategically to kind of like get people to watch it. But my evaluation, I feel that getting audience feedback, people thought that my trailer was too difficult to understand at times. Like, it was kind of went both ways. Like, one group of people really were interested in it and wanted to go see it to try and figure it out, but some weren't that interested because it confused them too much. And so if I did that again, I'd make more of a storyline to it. But with my poster and my magazine, I felt like I spent too long on it, but I feel that I followed the conventions of the mastheads and the surrounding text around the picture like you would see in a kind of everyday magazine, and I wanted to keep it really similar to that because I didn't see the point in challenging it when I had already challenged it so much in my trailer. So I kept to the conventions of that, like quite as technically as I could, like barcodes, like I said before, with the Empire masthead, and in the M I put the pricing, and down to like the tiny details. Like I saw a Harry Potter edition where in the right hand corner there's a little tab on the right hand side that says open to reveal more, and I borrowed like little things from that from bits and pieces from Empire, so I could really bring it into life like it was a real movie, like it was something really happening. Because my trailer was so confusing, it needed to be brought more into the real world, as it were. My poster was the same. I wanted to emulate it to see like it was something you would go out and you would see like out at the bus stop or something, to try and make it very real despite the fact it being very fantasy. So I feel like following those conventions brought like a nice balance from reality to kind of like your imagination. So if I could change anything, I feel like my trailer was too confusing for people, and some people got it, some people didn't, and that's kind of what happened. So if I could change one thing, it would have been that.